go. So I'm going to talk about Soggetto Cavato, which is 15th century data encoding. Data encoding before it was cool, which is a lie, because it's always been cool. Whoa. Okay. So this is Homeboy, Jocelyn de Prez. It's hard to say his name because it's Franco-Flemish, and I'm not a native of Flanders in the 15th century. We're not even sure how he spelled his name or when he was born, because that's what happens in the 15th century. If you're not royalty, no one keeps track of when you were born. But if you become cool enough by the time you die, they keep track of the exact day you died. Anyways, there's a Renaissance composer, probably the most famous composer you've most likely never heard of. There's really no one before him in Western music, post-Greece, that is post the height of ancient Greece, that we know who they are now and care, other than music historians. But his work totally was the launching point of some Renaissance work and highly influenced Baroque work as well. Soggetto Cavato means carved subject, and so you take a subject of a piece of music in this case, and we use the words to encode a message into the melody of the piece of music. So our friend Homeboy, who is just going to be Homeboy because I don't like trying to say his name, he did this with the solemnization mass of the Missa Hercules Dux Ferrari, whatever, Latin. So there was another Homeboy, Ercole the First, who was a duke, and he had money because, Anyway, so in Latin, this was his name. So the way you do this is you take all the vowels. So it's not a perfect encoding. It is an efficient encoding of vowels, but it's not a perfect encoding of English language or Roman alphabet language. Also, get rid of the A. That's strike through because when he did this, he skipped the A, probably because the melody wouldn't have sounded as nice. And so we take all those vowels and we have a mapping of each vowel to what they would have used back then, which was their note system, and it inspires solfege. If you're familiar with solfege, you'll see, other than ut, everything else here looks familiar, or if you've seen The Sound of Music, it also looks familiar. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So ut is basically do, so I can't remember. We'll figure it out in a second. Do. Okay, so and then if you're using our common musical notation now of letters, A through G, then it would be in a C chord tonality, D, C, D, C, D, F, E, D would be your notes. And so this is what it looked like when he wrote it, and this is what it would look like in modern musical notation. So you can see the name is encoded into the music. Kind of cool, right? And so then I was like, well, instead of doing my homework in college, I built a little Python tool that actually does this for you. So it's going to use regex to extract vowels because that's fast. We have on the right, you can see there's an encoding, this is the encoding of vowel to either the solfege or to the notes. And then I'd already built a sound wave class for a different project that year, so I used that for generating an actual audio file. And it uses the fast Fourier transform, and we can talk about it some other time if you want. And it's open source on GitHub, so you can go see it. Yay. So this is the whole thing, other than the sound wave making the file part. So half of this is a doc string, so you can see this is really simple because we're using regex to get the vowels, and then we just iterate through those maps, and that just for every vowel, figure out what the solfege is or figure out what the note would be, and return those. And so I'm going to do a live demo because that's not terrifying. Let's see. Oh, now you got to skip that part. Okay, this is what I was going to do. So hopefully this is kind of big enough that you can see it, but we're just going to run the Python code, which is in this file. and it's going to ask for, and it's going to, there we go, ask for input. And so we can say, welcome to Mind Garden. And it tells you what all the notes are, and it saved a file. So before I play that file, I'll do another one. We could do, like, names were the most popular because people paying for music want their name in the music. Vanity, I guess. So we could do like Fred Rogers. It's gonna be pretty boring. Mine's really boring. I only have 2 vowels in my first and last name. But it sounds nice. So let's have a listen. So that first one here is Welcome to Mind Garden. And I'm going to have to do this so you can hear it, but it's going to be quiet. That's Welcome to Mind Garden. Here's Fred Rogers. So exciting. The interesting thing about both of those is they started on D or Re, and so in your head you probably heard that in kind of a minor, more forlorn tone just because of where it started. If we had started somewhere like a C, it would have sounded entirely different. And then mine, that's my name. So people have extended. So there are other ways of doing this, right? You can come up with any encoding, and so there are ones that use more than just the vowels or whatever. But this is what people were doing in 1460 when they got bored. Cool. And that's it.